I don't know if the Jamaica justice system is trying to send a clear message that crime pays, or if they're just being cynical. According to the Jamaica Observer, Alexander Shaw, the attorney that is representing the sole woman that is convicted for being a member of the deadly Klansman One Don gang, on Monday, that attorney painted a picture of his client as a rejected wife, a mother pained by her inability to see her teenage daughter in high school uniform, and a woman who is still involved in ministering the gospel even inside of prison. Oh my God, a rejected wife. Blame it on her husband while she had other men outside of her marriage. Anyways, the article went on to say that making his plea in mitigation before trial judge Chief Justice Brian Sykes during the sentencing exercise for Stephanie Cole Christie, otherwise known as Mumma or Mumma Christie, and 14 other convicted gangsters at the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston on Monday, Shaw said that his client has somewhat been ostracized, arguing for a light sentence of 2 to 3 years for her, who is otherwise called, like I said before, Mumma, and who already has 5 other convictions. The attorney declared that Cole Christie has already been punished and has been rejected by her husband, who doesn't want anything to do with her. Can I tell you, why would that man want to have anything to do with her? On the day when the police went to go pick her up based on their investigations and the people were going to prison because the indictments had come down, her good husband, who is also a minister himself, this was his ordination ceremony. He was about to be ordained. She actually asked the arresting police officers if you can give me some time just to watch him get ordained and then we can go. And the police said no. She has been hearing, this is her attorney speaking, and he said she has been hearing prison gates closing behind her for the last 4 years. And I submit that is enough to act as a deterrent. Mistress Christie is 48 years old. She is not a pup. Notwithstanding the fact that she is the eldest in the gang, as the evidence unfolded, there were instances where she would invite her friends to church. The truth is, there was a constant struggle because though she was at church, she found herself being part of a negative social group as well. Now, according to her attorney, Shaw, Cole Christie, or Mumma, has expressed how depressive it is to be locked away from your young daughter, and has talked about even having suicidal thoughts. He said that the interviewer who prepared Cole Christie's social inquiry report tried to make contact with her husband, who doesn't want anything at all to do with her or to do with any of the matters that are going on in court right now that she is caught up in. He further said Cole Christie, his wife, Mumma, was needed by her ailing mother, who is elderly and has been cared for by his client before her incarceration. So she was the one that was caring for her elderly, ill mother. He said that his client, who was making a meaningful contribution to society as an entrepreneur and a community member, is still involved in ministry, is on the choir, and helps in the kitchen at the remand center. According to Shaw, her attorney, he said that his client, from behind the walls of the prison, she is still making things better, or she is still trying to make things better. Now, in March this year, Mumma was found guilty of being a member of the notorious criminal organization, the Klansman One Don Gang. And the thing is, she was the only female in that organization. Christie said to be a top tier member of the gang though. She was the only female, but she wasn't just some hang around. She was listed as a top tier member. At the time, in a feverly delivered, unsworn statement, had described herself as, "Your Honor, I am a businesswoman and an entrepreneur who is known by many as a people person." She had claimed that her only modus operandi was caring for the elderly and young people by getting them into school. She told the courts that she also spearheaded community sports days and a major get-together which was so recognized that it attracted sponsorships from several big-name companies. In other words, she painted herself as the philanthropist, the person who likes to bring everybody together and do good for the community. However, witness number 2, a former member turned state witness, that person had asserted or told in court that Mumma Christie was the link between the police force and the gang. And I covered this on SouFLoTV, where it said before in those same court documents, she was the link between the police force and the gang. There was a story put out that she would use to do her gang duties. So this is how she got inside information. This is how she knew when charges were coming down. This is how she got people out. This is how she protected Andre Blackman Bryan. This is how she fed him information from inside through her links with these police officers. So the witness said that she was the link between the police force and the gang, and she was the one that sourced legal representation whenever any of the gang members ran afoul of the law. She had a definite position in the gang. Somebody got locked up, it was her job to go find an attorney to take care of the situation. Mumma Christie, it was said, she bankrolled the legal fees from extortion monies. Justice Sykes, in convicting the so-called pastor, had referred to recorded conversations which had been entered into evidence featuring her in conversations with the witness, during which she spoke of a corrupt cop who fed her information. That, Justice Sykes said, was consistent with the evidence of a police witness who said that Christie had even tried to bribe him, but he would not take the bribe. He is the same officer who asked her. He commented and said, "You're a bad woman." She said, "What you mean by that?" He replied and said to her, "Well, you're sleeping with two of the most dangerous men in Jamaica, or two of the most dangerous men in the country," referring to two gangsters that are notorious, that she is known to have been intimate with, to include Andre Blackman Bryan. Now you got to understand that there were times when this woman was missing and her husband didn't know where she was at. And she probably was telling him that she's going on some kind of a church woman's retreat. She's setting up shop to minister the word of the Lord in different parts of the island. He thought he had a good wife that was doing God's work. This poor man probably saw what was going on but could not really say anything. On Monday, Mumma Christie resplended in a pink flowing outfit, fresh braids framing her small face. She sat quietly, her well-made-up face a study in concentration. There she was. The matter resumes today at 10 a.m. when the attorney will continue their plea in mitigation address. This was her attorney begging for her to get about 3 years. Some side information that came with this article says that a convicted Klansman member is to be sentenced alongside leader Andre Blackman Bryan and Mumma Christie. And those people were Michael Whitley, Dylan McLean, Lamar Simpson, Tariq James, Fabian Johnson, Jaziel Blake, Roel Taylor, Joseph McDermott, Jermaine Robinson, Andre Golding, Tomrick Taylor, Brian Morris, and Ted Price. Remember, when this whole thing started, 33 people of the organization allegedly were 33 alleged members of the Klansman One Don gang were all dragged before the courts. By the time it was over, 17 were convicted, the rest were let go, and one was killed shortly after being let go. The Crown, in opening its case on September 20th, back in 2021, said that the accused individual, which comprised the Blackman faction of the Klansman gang, had various roles in which they acted as killers. Some were drivers, some were lookout men or watchmen, some were gunsmiths that repaired their guns, and others were foot soldiers. Everybody played their part. Now, Holy Perv left a comment, and Holy Perv says the judge will be doing her a favor by giving her the max. The safest place for her to be is prison. She will definitely live longer in prison compared to roaming these streets. Law-abiding Jamaica Spanish Town residents will also be able to breathe a sigh of relief. These demons have killed enough innocent people, and I hope them get the max sentences and sent to a maximum security prison. She should be ordered to stay away from communication with gang members altogether. Klansman leaders will still be given instructions from prison. Don't let that go over your head. So only immediate family members should be allowed to visit. Mother, father, and children. No brothers, no sisters, no so-called cousins, since they are likely to be criminals themselves. All their communications, written, spoken, and otherwise, should be monitored, except what is discussed with their lawyers for their appeal. That sounds like a good plan. But Jamaica is not America. Emmer J says, Christian gang member. How many of these people do we have in Jamaica? So you go pray in the morning, and then you and your friends go to and fro doing evil works and creating mayhem in society. But why? Because you came from a dysfunctional family structure? But many other people came from a dysfunctional family structure, and they made a positive impact on society instead of choosing what you chose. Now, we can go further, but we won't. Today's updated headline concerning Mumma Christie, the Klansman gangster Mumma, goes like this. Again, shout out to Jamaica Observer. Stephanie Cole Christie, also known affectionately as Mumma or Mumma Christie, the lone woman convicted of being a member of the deadly Klansman gang, has now been sentenced. We have followed this Klansman One Don gang trial from the very beginning. On SouFLoTV, if you just type into YouTube search engine, SouFLoTV, Klansman One Don gang, you can spell it with a C and then go back and spell it with a K, and the videos will pop up. So here we are now, following it all the way through with over 50 videos of all the confessions and everything that was said in court, what went on behind the scenes, who stabbed who in the back, who was a snitch, all that. Here we are at the end, the sentencing. This is why we ask people to hit the subscribe button, but hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified when we put an update up to any of the stories that we cover, because we follow them all the way through to the end. Mumma Christie has officially been sentenced to 9 years and 10 months behind bars for her membership in the criminal organization. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Chief Justice Sykes gave her 9.5 years. Yeah, 9 years and 10 months. I don't like that judge. But guess what? That judge's hands are tied. There's nothing that judge could have done because the law in Jamaica says that is the max that you can get for being a member of a criminal organization. It's 10 years. The max. And she got 9 years and 10 months. So he pushed it all the way to 2 months away from the max, even though her attorneys were begging and painting pictures of her being this good person, and they asked for 2 to 3 years. So Chief Justice Brian Sykes handed down the sentence a short while ago on today, which is October 3rd of 2023. In March this year, Mumma Christie was found guilty of being a member of the notorious criminal organization, the Klansman One Don Gang, one of the most notorious gangs to have ever existed in Jamaica. Not to mention, she was seen as a pastor, a woman of the cloth, a godly woman, all along while living a double life, to include having an intimate relationship with the now self-confessed leader of the Klansman One Don Gang, who himself was found guilty and who himself has admitted to giving orders to carry out multiple murders. Christie, or Mumma Christie, was said to be a top-tier member of that gang at that time. Here she is today, about to do her 9 years and 10 months. Now here's the thing about her prison sentence. 9 years and 10 months on appeal, she can have that time reduced. Her attorneys will go in, they'll point out certain discrepancies in the case. It'll go back to court. 9 years turns into 6 years or 5 years. If she is in there administering or ministering the word, thumping on her Bible, and living as a preacher, pastor, they might look at her as somebody who is totally rehabilitated. She could very well be out in half of that time. So 5 years from now, she'll be out. We'll be around to see. We'll speak it into existence and we'll see. Again, her attorney said that she was making a meaningful contribution to society as an entrepreneur and a community member. And behind bars, she is still spreading the gospel. She is a part of the choir, and she helps in the kitchen at the Remand Center. I wish her all the best. Today we close this chapter on this part. And again, we wish her all the best. I don't know what to say because I can't tell you crime does not pay when all she got was 9.5 years. And I'm sure she's not going to do that whole time. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I will catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.